sọnù ìfẹ́kùfẹ́ tara wa ló pọ̀ jù nílé ayé. Màmá fìyà jẹ mí Ọlọ́run mi mò ń bẹ̀ ọ́ orí mi má gbà bọ̀dẹ̀ èmi lékè ara yé ká mi láre o. Afẹ́fẹ́ láyé, afẹ́fẹ́ láyé, afẹ́fẹ́ láyé. Bìrìbìrìbìrì láyé. Oríṣiríṣi àìsàn kò jẹ́ lé ayé rojú ẹgbẹ́ mi. Àtọwọ́ Elédùmarè kọ́ o, iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ ènìyàn ni. Ọlọ́run bá ń sàmì ẹ̀ṣẹ̀, ta ló lè dúró náà? Torí wọ́n kọ̀ láti ní èrò Ọlọ́run ní ìmọ̀ wọn ni. Ọlọ́run fi wọ́n sílẹ̀ fún ìríra lọ́lọ́lọ́lọ́. Màmá fòṣì bá mi, ẹlẹ́dàá mi mò ń bẹ̀ ọ́, orí mi máa ń gbà bọ̀dẹ̀, èmi lékè ara mi rè o. Flu gbáyé kan, malaria gbáyé kan, wọ́n tún ní vaccinations tipátipá. Ìjàmbá gbáyé kan, ìfẹ́kùfẹ́ gbáyé kan, ìmọ̀tara ẹni nìkan gbáyé kan, greediness. Ẹni tó ní ìtàn bí ogún bí ọgbọ̀n tó ń wá ìgbà. Àwọn kan náà fẹ́ jogún gbogbo ayé. Ẹ̀rọ̀jú ayé tẹ̀lé orí. Àṣesílẹ̀ làgbọ̀ wá bá. Ilé ayé kì í ṣọwọ́ ẹ̀yọ́. Olúwa dí àmì jẹ̀lẹ́ńkẹ́. Ọ̀run nìkan láre máa bọ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé ilé ayé ṣeun rere. Ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ rí coronavirus yìí? Ọ̀pọ̀ ló ń pariwo ìbínú Ọlọ́run ni. Ọ̀pọ̀ ló ń pariwo tí ọwọ́ Ọlọ́run. Iṣẹ́ Elédùmarè máa kọ́ ọ́, àfọwọ́fà ọmọ ẹ̀dá ni. Àwọn kan náà fẹ́ jogún ayé. Àwọn kan ló ń palẹ̀ ayé lára. Torí wọ́n kọ̀ láti ní èrò Ọlọ́run ní ìmọ̀ wọn ni. Ọlọ́run fi wọ́n sílẹ̀ fún ìríra. Ẹ jẹ́ ká máa ṣe lọ. Ẹ jẹ́ ká máa jẹ́ lọ. Kò sóhun tí kì í tán. Àforí ọ̀fẹ́ Elédùmarè ọba. Màmá fìyà jẹ mí. Ọlọ́run mi mò ń bẹ̀ ọ́, orí mi máa gbà bọ̀dẹ̀, èmi lékè ara yé ká mi láre o. Ìyẹn ni mo ṣe rántí orin tí mo kọ lọ́jọ́ ọjọ́sí. Ẹ tẹ́tí sílẹ̀ kẹ́ máa gbọ́. Ọbásanjọ́ tó ń sanjọ́, Àtíkù tí kì í kú, Yar'Adua tó ń gbàdúrà, Adé farasin tó farasin láìsí ìrànwọ́ Elédùmarè, asán pásá ló jẹ́. Ọlọ́run bá ń bínú lọ́wọ́, ta ló lè dúró náà? Àmọ́ ó dá mi lójú Olúwa ní àmì jẹ̀lẹ́ńkẹ́. Bìlísì ò lè wọ̀lú o, Ọlọ́run máa mọ̀ sí. Ọlọ́run kò sì ṣe Fáráò láyà lé fún aládùúrà tó ń gbàdúrà. Adé farasin tó farasin láìsí ìrànwọ́ Elédùmarè. Asán pàṣẹ ló jẹ́. Ẹ wo àrùn yìí, bó ṣe ń dààmú ọmọdé ló ń dààmú àgbàlagbà. Kò mọ nílé, kò mọ àlejò, kò mọ ọmọdé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kò mọ àgbàlagbà. Kò mọ lówó, kò mọ tálákà. Ẹ jẹ́ ká máa gbé ní ayé tí wúrẹ́. Ó pin ayé ò bá ìdè. Ikú ló pin eré ìje. Túmùtúmù wá. Àwọn ayé máa kú kan òṣì. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe rere. Ohun tá a bá ṣe sílẹ̀ làbọ̀ wá bá. Màmá fìyà jẹ mí. Ọlọ́run mi mò ń bẹ̀ ọ́. Orí mi máa gbà bọ̀dẹ̀. Èmi lékè ara yé dá mi láre o. Màmá fòṣìta mi. Ẹlẹ́dàá mi mò ń bẹ̀ ọ́. Orí mi máa gbà bọ̀dẹ̀. Èmi lékè ara yé dá mi láre o. Títí láyọ̀, títí lọ́pẹ́, títí láyọ̀ mi lọ́dọ̀ rẹ̀ ò bàbá. Títí láyọ̀, títí lọ́pẹ́, títí láyọ̀ mi lọ́dọ̀ rẹ̀ ò bàbá.
Yes, hi, good evening. Yes, I hope I meet each and every one of you well. Good evening to all of you. Yes, we are once again back in the spotlight. Yes, back this great Thursday afternoon, live all the way from London, England. Yes, Alaja Folake Alawiye Alaji Aremu Osholade Alakufo Bababadon. Yes, and a few other people that I'm unable to see, they are watching silently. If you don't comment, I won't be able to spot you. Yes, Adeniyi Akinwale, I can see you now. Yes, you are watching the live stream from HALLO magazine feed. Yes, please share the stream. Agahowa Igebo Maybell, blessed evening to you as well. Yeah, if you haven't taken the courage to share the stream, please do so, because today we want to treat a very topical issue. Yes, it is still the same bleeding edge. We're going straight into episode 173. Hashtag the bleeding edge. Episode 173. That's exactly what we want to treat today. And I sincerely hope that all of you out there, you can hear me crisp, loud, and clear. It is Thursday today, the day that the Lord has made. Let us all rejoice and be glad in it. Thursday, the 19th day of the 5th month of May, 2022. And the time in London is exactly 17:54, almost fast approaching 5 minutes to 6 o'clock GMT. Welcome to the stream. I'm yours and truly, Frank Bello, your host. Terrible man. The man who's the most hated. The most hated. Elijah Falake Alawiye, welcome. Agahowa Egebo Mabel, welcome. Elijah Remu Usholade, welcome. It's going to be great. See, a lot still don't believe. And I'm going to post that so that you guys can see it. Nigeria is getting hot. But because that Damboroba Shegemutubu Banzani of a country it's a hopeless nation. Yes, very hopeless nation. A nation that can never be proud of. I wonder why a handful are still proud of that shithole of a country called Nigeria. See, let me do it this way. No one is more hated in this world than he who speaks the truth. I know very well that I'm the number one enemy of Abuja outside a country that has been regarded as one of the dangerous places to live on the surface of the planet. And that's exactly where we find ourselves. Sixty-two years after independence. That's exactly where we find ourselves. Yeah, I've got a call coming in, but unfortunately, I cannot pick the call. See, not many people are aware when I saw this coming. That I once used this material before. This material by Alice O'Connor. Alice O'Connor had a pen name, Anyin Rand, just like I've got my own pen name as well. In fact, I've got Several. One of them, if I want to write provocatively and turn things upside down for those who abuse power and privileges, I use Sparrow G. Very poisonous character. And there is Edaumo Dua, there's Kekiriekun. It depends. Now, Alice O'Connor in 1957 said, quote, "When you see that in order to produce, you need to obtain permission from men who produce nothing. Your politicians, Bola Tinubu, Nasiru El Rufai, fake, dodgy, latex Muhammadu Buhari, Obasanjo, go on. All of them lot that messed up a nation that should have been an icon and envy of the world. Have they produced anything at all? The answer is no. When you see that in order to produce, you need to obtain permission from men who produce nothing. When you see that money is flowing to those who deal not in goods but in favors. When you see that men get richer by graft, that is stealing, and by pull than by work, hard work I mean. And your laws don't protect you against them, but protect them against you. When you see corruption being rewarded, as it is, being rewarded because when you steal and you join APC, your sins are forgiven. When you see corruption being rewarded and honesty becoming a self-sacrifice, Alice O'Connor in 1957 said, quote, "You may know that your society is doomed." I want someone out there to please correct me and say, Frank Bello, you're stupid. For explaining that quotation by Alice O'Connor, 1957. Adebowale Idowu Aladesami, welcome to the stream. Thank you. Adeni Akinwale for that post. Yes, the most hated, but the most truthful and trustworthy. Thank you. Darani Jojuwan, good day. We're just starting. Now tell me, who amongst the people marauding themselves today as your Alpha and your Omega delivered, talk less of the last 23 years? I'm going to show you in this stream today. We're going to deal with numbers, because numbers is statistics. I'm going to deal with numbers in terms of education, because I continue to hammer in and I say to you time after time that as for me, the blame that destroyed, the man that started the destruction of Nigeria, I'm going to hold Yakubu Gowon responsible. And I mean it. I'm going to prove certain things to you. based on numbers. I repeat, based purely on numbers. Many of you, perhaps you were not looking at those numbers. Many were busy doing something else. But you were not really looking at those numbers. And numbers count. Daranijo Juwon. Let me post your comment. Daranijo Juwon, you said, remember you warned Mayegun. What you said has happened. Your word is golden. Ọ̀rọ̀ àgbà tí ò ṣẹ lówùúrọ̀ ni bó pẹ́ títí àṣẹ lọ́jọ́ alẹ́. Ọmọdé ò lè ní aṣọ tó nílé ayé kó lákìísà tó àgbàlagbà. See, go possible. You see, at this stage of my life, if I fail to speak the truth, then what is left over? I've never been a beneficiary of any corrupt system in Nigeria. Like I always say, I don't owe Nigeria anything. Nigeria owes me a lot. Quite a lot. You see, I'm not going to dabble into all those areas. What I want to do with all the gifts, the power, the strength, and the might that Jehovah God, Tetragrammaton Sabaoth, the Lord of hosts, gave me is exactly what I want to give out. Oh, Jocelyn Noah. Oh, Jocelyn Daniels. I almost forgot now. I hope your husband is not going to holler me. Yeti Queen. Good evening. It's going to be a little bit ruthless. Yes. A little bit ruthless. Now, Lord, please help me. Look at this. You can clearly see a limousine. Posh, expensive limousine. That used to be owned by someone. Perhaps at the time it was one of the best and the state of the art car that person who owned this limousine was so proud of. Perhaps he must have made some money out of it. But in this world, in this world, this mortal world, we're just mere mortal, all of us. Nothing lasts. There's a time to be born, there is a time to grow, and there is a time to die when everything comes to an end. in everything that we do. The greatest thing we can give to humanity is to be humble to God and to man. Did you hear that? Humble yourself before God, and then secondly to man, because there is nothing greater than the supernatural being that is uncreated. There's nothing greater than him that created everything that is beautiful in this world. And forever and ever, we all should be very grateful to the creator of all things, the I am that I am, the one who no eyes had seen, no tongue spoke it. Nobody. The mighty one. Mighty. The fiery one. The greatest architect. The designer. He designed everything. No one is like him. Humble yourself before God and to man. Nothing lasts forever. You see that limousine owned by someone? Look at it. Look at where it has ended up. Remember the video clip of Shehu Shagari's house that was shown? Remember Amala politics, Babalamidi Adedibu, goats, everyone, goats. And nature had already reclaimed his house. What about Are Arishikola in Ibadan? It is the same. Everything at some point in time will come to an end. Surely, it will definitely come to an end. One day. No doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. I want you to look at this. There was a time when there was a nation that everyone was very envious. And there was a time when that same nation was regarded as the giant of Africa. That giant is now a Lilliputian. Everything must come to an end. If our lives surely comes to an end, and that example of that limo that you've just watched came to an end. Now look at this. When Nigeria Airways was flying, it was the biggest airline with the biggest fleet of aircraft in the whole of Africa. Look at the Nigerian Airways. What you see is the carcasses of a messed up, shambolic aircraft. Maybe at the top of my head, a Fokker F-27 aircraft used in domestic flights around the country. 62 years after independence. That's what you're left with. Other African countries that were unable to match you in the 70s, the 80s, and now first world. Look at South African Airways, look at Ugandan Airways, and look at Tunisian Airways. These are their aircraft. When the Nigerian Airways was golden, South Africa was crawling under apartheid. And Olusegun Obasanjo had the audacity to deplete your foreign exchange and used $63 billion of that money to fight for the liberation of South Africa and Southern Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe. I tried as much as possible to compare this African Airlines so that you can see things yourselves, that what goes up must surely come down, and for everything it comes to an end. Again, Nigeria Airways compared with Kenyan Airways, Ethiopian Airways, and our neighboring Ghana Airways. Nigeria Airways came to an end. There's no doubt in my mind that with the rate things are currently going, which my predictions will be absolutely right, Nigeria will definitely come to an end. No doubt about it. It will. I know it's going to happen. Because I'm the most hated. And because I am the most hated. So also, I'm going to give them the 440 of their lifetime. We're going to go into numbers very shortly. Look at this man. That I'll never forget. Black on black. When he was a military junta, a Yoruba man almost killed a Yoruba man of his own tribe. An Egba man of Yoruba extraction almost killed his fellow Egba man, inclusive of his mother. In fact, soldiers threw fella's mom all the way from a decking onto the ground. An old woman, supervised under Olusegun Obasanjo. Isn't it a shame? The Hausa Fulani people in the north, they killed Deborah Samuel for blasphemy. But up till today, up till this current moment, even all their leaders and all their governors, politicians, refuse to touch those buffoons. But a Yoruba man will be quick to either kill, maim, or destroy his own fellow Yoruba man. The same is equally applicable to the Igbo people too. It is applicable. Make no mistakes. It's applicable. And here, hey, we're just starting. I'm going to show you things in numbers that is very, very scary. Very, very scary. You see, karma. Let me bring in karma. How many of you believed in karma? How many of you believed that there's something called karma? Karma in Yoruba language. I'll tell you exactly what karma is in Yoruba language. It is called ẹ̀san. Ẹ̀san. Kéèyàn gba ẹ̀san. Karma. Fún ẹ̀yin tí ẹ fẹ́ jẹ́ kí n sọ ní Yorùbá. Karma. It is a universal law. The law of karma. The law of ẹ̀san. Karma is the force generated by a person's actions. You and I generate those force. And I don't care who you are. I don't care even if it is Obasanjo or a fake, dodgy, latex Muhammadu Buhari or shortman Nasiru El Rufai or Bola Ahmed Tinubu or Ibrahim Babangida. I don't simply care who they are. Karma comes after everyone eventually. On this planet, you don't have to die before karma strike you. You can't get away with screwing other people. Screwing, toiling with their lives. You can't get away. Because what goes round comes round. Sooner or later, nature has a way of claiming its own back. Sooner or later, the universal force or the universal energy will surely serve you the revenge you deserve. Karma. It exists. Karma does exist. And no one, you do good, you surely will reap it. If it is the other way around too, you will reap it. You reap what you sow. All those Tamboroba leaders, there's no doubt in my mind they will reap it. Look at this. Calcutta Republic 1977. And you think Obasanjo is not going to reap the destruction since then. Even Fela's children, Seun and Femi Kuti, they've forgotten about the way Obasanjo messed up their father's belongings through their grandmother. From a story building to the ground. They forgot. And these children are now following all these Tamboroba politicians as well, campaigning for them. I don't believe this. Maybe I should remind them of this, that this man called Olusegun Obasanjo, this man was responsible for that. They've forgotten. Yes, they are. They've forgotten. They have. But as custodian of information, it is on record. Still on record. Still on record. See what is coming. I'll show you exactly what is coming. What is coming? Ìdájọ́ Oluwatide, just like YK's made it known. Ìdájọ́ yẹn ti dé. What is coming is heavy. It is too heavy. See, don't go away. See, you can see traffic light in front of you. We've got problems. We're going to analyze where the roots of the problems are. I want to dig into education today with numbers. And then the green light, the solution. Yeah. Many of you, let me remind you. Let me remind you with this, because you seem to forget this particular one. The revenge of the poor. We're almost getting there. Location 9. Shithole location 9. It's getting there. And the poor will revenge. And that revenge, God help anyone who is caught up in the process. Because revenge of the poor, don't be surprised, might end up being a bloody revolution. The revolution will be so bloody. Pray that this revolution, all those politicians and those leaders are not butchered on the street. We're going to get there. It's round the corner. Now, before we get ourselves into the nitty-gritty of what is at stake, the numbers that I want to show you. Those numbers. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. And those numbers came out from the Central Bank of Nigeria, to which I've been working on them for a long time. Well, it is about time that I have to make it public for you to see. Many of you are still conversant with the problem associated with ASU in Nigeria. You are. Okay, let's do it this way. Let me go into the live stream video. Our problem, where did this started? Watch this. Listen to this.
Ó sì ń lọ ní ìrọ̀wọ́rọ̀sẹ̀ ní pópónà Àkúrẹ́ sí Iléṣà. Àmọ́ ní àárọ̀ yìí ni a gbọ́ pé àwọn sójà wọ́n wá sí àárín yìí láti dàbọn bolẹ̀, tí ó sì jẹ́ pé lára àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ náà ní wọ́n yin àwọn níbọn, bó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ pé wọ́n ní
akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ students Federal University of Technology Akure filter demonstrating. So they blocked the road between Akure and Elisha.
Àmọ́ ní báyìí àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ọ̀hún ni wọ́n ti padà sí ibi tí wọ́n ti ń ṣe ìfẹ̀hónúhàn ọ̀hún, tí wọ́n sì tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìfẹ̀hónúhàn wọn ní bí wọ́n ṣe ní ọjọ́ méje gbáko ni àwọn yóò fi wà láàrin ọ̀nà tí kò sì ní sí ohunkóhun tí yóò mú kí wọ́n kúrò títí di ọjọ́ méje tí àwọn fẹ́ lò. Àyàfi tó bá jẹ́ pé ìjọba àpapọ̀ wọ́n dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ àjọ ASUU tí ó tó di àkókò náà. Ní kò pẹ́ kò jìnnà ní a máa bá lára àwọn adarí àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ léyìí tó máa sọ ohun tí ojú wọn rí nípa ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ láàárọ̀ òní.
Yes. Àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ students, so they were protesting. Those students were protesting. Now, there's a lot more because that is the first video clip. And by the time I begin to dig deep into numbers for you, you'll be gobsmacked. And those numbers have not really included those that are in tertiary institution, that is higher school of learning. I've not included them. The numbers that we have to play about with, statistics, very, very realistic, very, very realistic, are those in primary school and secondary school. And you'll begin to see why, like I explained to you. They've destroyed the education. Earlier on today, I was watching a clip. The current, well, not the current, the deposed Emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, was never sent out of Nigeria to be educated. I was gobsmacked when he made it known that he was educated at King's College, Lagos, and then subsequently onto, I think it was Ahmadu Bello University, where he read economics. Now, had those people that created a solid, rock solid educational foundation destroyed that education, will Sanusi Lamido Sanusi be solid for him to be promoted and for him to get within the space of 10 years, knowing fully well he, inside him, happens to be an Islamic fundamentalist as well? Yes, I'm claiming that. Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, former CBN governor, I put it to him, he is an Islamic fundamentalist as well. Remember, Sani Abacha jailed him, and it was only Abdul Muttalib father that saved him from Abacha killing him as at that time, when he instructed people in Kano to go and behead the head of someone that was in jail. That annoyed Sani Abacha. Sani Abacha killed those that invaded the jail, but there was an intercession for Abacha to spare Sanusi Lamido Sanusi. So if they destroyed the educational system, will Sanusi Lamido Sanusi benefited from the same quality education that was delivered to him? Can Sanusi Lamido Sanusi and many of those moronic elements promise that, oh, with the current state of a decapitated nation that can never be salvaged called Nigeria, are they willing right now to send their own children to be educated in that country? No. I know many of Sanusi's friends and Sanusi and many of them that are not even educating their own children. You know, in the north, they like to sleep with 13-year-old because many of them up there are pedophiles. That one, Yerima, that introduced Sharia in Zamfara during Obasanjo's period, don't forget, he said it is part and parcel of the Sharia that they should be sleeping with a 13-year-old. I see them as pedophiles. Pedos. Their wives and their children are abroad, living big, being educated in Ivy League secondary school, A-star secondary school, boarding, eating, Christ Hospital in Cheltenham, many of them around the country. They destroyed the education they were beneficiary of, knowing fully well that they know that if they destroyed the educational system, the whole structure will collapse. Esther Iwetuga, you're welcome to the stream. That was the first clip. Let me bring in the second one for you. Let's get the second one in. Here is the second one. Clip number 2. It's here for you.
Níwájú mi ní ọ̀gbẹ́ni Surprise tí ó jẹ́ alága fún gbogbo àgbáríjọ ẹgbẹ́ àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ nípìnlẹ̀ Ondo èyí NANS. Àwọn ni a kàn gba ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nu wọn kí wọ́n sọ nítorí wọ́n rí nípa ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ láàárọ̀ tòní. Ẹ ṣe orúkọ tèmi ọmọ tó ṣe Surprise tí jẹ́ àgbà ìjọba tó wà nípìnlẹ̀ Ondo. Àwa nílé ní láti fi ẹ̀rọ ní àwọn nípa ọ̀rọ̀ áfíríkà àti ìjọba àpapọ̀. Àná láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìwọ́de ó yẹ kí jẹ́ nǹkan tó lérè lórí kò sí jàgídíjàgan láti ṣètò àwọn adarí wa ní ètò ààbò bí ọlọ́pàá, àwọn civil defence, àwọn DSS. Àwọn rosif gbogbo wọn ló wà níbí àti àwọn tó gbogbo wọn ló wà níbí láti gbé kán bá wa fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ adẹ́tijọ́ ní ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ tẹ́ gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ létò ní tó ṣe ẹ̀kú lọ. Nígbà tá a parí lánàá adẹ́tí bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní èyí. Nǹkan tó jẹ́ nǹkan ìyàlẹ́nu ni pé bá ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò lénìí ní ìrọ̀wọ́ ìrẹsẹ̀ ni àwọn sójà dé.
Sójà. Listen.
Gbogbo nǹkan tá a kó sílẹ̀ wọ́n kọ́ da ọkọ̀ ẹ̀ ni wọ́n yìnbọn sí. Ló jẹ́ pé lára àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ gan ìbọn bá bíi ẹyọkan sí méjì nù wa.
They shot at the students protesting. Soldiers.
Àmọ̀dí tó fi wá da nǹkan tá a ń ṣe rú torí anybody jà. A ṣe kíní nírọ̀wọ́ ìrọ̀sẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ lọ nírọ̀wọ́ ìrọ̀sẹ̀. Tó jẹ́ pé àwọn tá a bá mọ̀ pé wọ́n ní nǹkan tó ṣe kókó láti lè kọ́ fẹ́ lọ ṣe. A fún wọn ní àǹfààní láti pé wọ́n kọjá. Àná àwọn tó dẹ̀ jọmọ iléèwé bí ráàmà iléèwé alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ àdé girama. Ajẹ́kọ́ ń rìn torí pé àwọn náà mọ̀ pé àwọn ní láti lọ sí ibẹ̀ kọ́ wọn. Nǹkan tó yà á lẹ́nu ni pé àwọn sójà wọlé ilé ìwọ́n wá yìnbọn sí gbogbo wa ilé ogun wa ṣàgbọ́gbọ́ àwọn kan tá a rà sílẹ̀ bí omi bí oúnjẹ gbogbo ẹ̀ náà kó sínú mọ́tò wọn tán kó sá lọ. A dẹ̀ ti ṣe àjọ láti ṣe àwọn fídíò wa dẹ̀ ti fi sórí àwòmáwòrán gbogbo àwọn fídíò wọn mọ́tò wọn adé àwọn tó wà àwọn ilé ìtarí ṣe níbẹ̀ àti ṣe tó nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní àwòkọ́ tá a wà nílé. Bọ̀ àwa akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ a sọ pé nǹkan tó bá wù nǹkan kí nǹkan tó wù kàn ṣe àwa ò padà àfi tí ìjọba àpapọ̀ tó bá dá wa ló nǹkan tá a béèrè torí nǹkan tá a béèrè ọjọ́ ọ̀la wa la béèrè.
Ọjọ́ ọ̀la they asking for their tomorrow today.
Nígbà tá a bá rí akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó sọ pé ó fẹ́ lọ ọdún mẹ́rin nílé ìwé tó lọ ọdún mẹ́fà nínú orílẹ̀-èdè tá a wà tó jẹ́ pé ó ní ọmọ ọdún tó gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kó tó lè ríṣẹ́ ó ní ọmọ ọdún tó gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kó tó lè sin ìjọba. Àdẹ̀wọ̀n pé èèyàn tí ò sin ìjọba ní orílẹ̀-èdè yìí kò ní àǹfààní sí àwọn nǹkan kan. Gbogbo ilé yìí gbogbo ọjọ́ tó ń lọ lójú wa ta ló fẹ́ sanwó fún àbí ta ló fẹ́ bá wa dábàá padà.
Correct.
Òun la ṣe ń bẹ ìjọba àpapọ̀ pé káwọn náà kan jáde kó sọ̀rọ̀ kó jẹ́ ká padà sétò ẹ̀kọ́ wa. Ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ṣe pàtàkì kò kí ń ṣe ètò ìbò ló yẹ kó ká wa lára lásìkò yìí. Ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ló yẹ kó ká wa lára. Bọ̀ nǹkan tá a rí ni pé wọ́n ní orílẹ̀-èdè tá a bá wà tí wọ́n kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ jọwọ́ lógún orílẹ̀-èdè yẹn ó lọ sóko ìfàsẹ́yìn ni.
Did you hear that?
Nàìjíríà lè ní nìyẹn. Tẹ́lá ní gbogbo àwọn tó jẹ́ àwọn ọmọ adarí wa
tó ń jẹ́ àwọn olówó wa àwọn èèyàn pàtàkì ní òpin orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà wọ́n ti kó ọmọ kúrò lórílẹ̀-èdè láti kọ́ lọ kàwé lóko òkun ṣé irú ọmọ ẹ náà lákàwé lóko òkun tá padà wá síbí láti wá fi sílẹ̀ bàbá ẹ̀ kò pọ́síbù so abẹ àwọn ará ìlú ni abẹ àwọn tó mọ̀yàn lórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà kọ́ bá ìjọba àpapọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n jẹ́ ká padà sílé ìwé.
ẹni tí ó ń bẹ níwájú mi ní ọ̀gbẹ́ni Surprise tí ó jẹ́ alága.
And indeed, that's the second clip. Now, let me bring in the third one for you. The third one is on its way. The third one. Here is the third one. Yeah, watch this one and here. Listen very carefully because the shot at the president of their union, you heard the army and the police that came ransack where they were protesting, shot at the president of the union, of the student union. But the bullet never penetrated into his body. Did you hear that? The bullet shot by the army and the police to the president of the student union at Futa in Akure, that bullet never penetrated. So that means the president of the student union in Yoruba language, Utimiayeta. Watch this.
Alákùn kí ni ẹlẹ́rìí sọ sí tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní láàárọ̀ yìí?
Nǹkan tá a rí sọ sí ni pé the actions of the Nigerian army should be condemned. Nítorí nǹkan tí wọ́n wá ṣe bíbá ilé ni wọ́n wá disrupt ìfẹ̀hónúhàn Nigerian students which should not be. The only thing tá a fẹ́ now is justice for Nigerian students fún nǹkan tí àwọn Nigerian army wá ṣe ní bíbá ilé àti pé ọjọ́ padà sí ìyá.
A gbọ́ pé ìbọn bá lára àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yín.
Nǹkan tá a mọ̀ ní pé àwọn Nigerian army wọ́n yìnbọn sí ìbọn pa anybody wọ́n point sí different individuals even though chairman ní National Association of Nigerian Students wọ́n try láti yìnbọn sí lẹ́sẹ̀ àdúgbò lọ́wọ́ náà pé
Ẹ ṣé.
Bro, Yoruba.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹni tí àṣẹ̀bá sọ̀rọ̀ tán ṣe sọ, ó ní lára àwọn tí wọ́n yìnbọn sí ni ẹni tí ó jẹ́ alága ẹgbẹ́ NANS nípínlẹ̀ Ondo pé lákòókò tí wọ́n sì yin ìbọn náà sí ìbọn ọ̀hún kò wọlé ní kò jẹ́ kí ẹni náà kí ó ṣèṣe. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí wọ́n ṣe wí, wọ́n ní tó bá jẹ́ pé bí wọ́n ṣe yìn ó wọlé sí lára ní ẹni tí à ń sọ yìí kọ́.
Lábá máa sọ.
Àbá máa wí. Púpọ̀ lára àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ náà lẹ́rí tí wọ́n rọ kiri ká gbogbo agbègbè yìí. Bákan náà ni ẹ rí i pé àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ àjọ ọlọ́pàá àwọn ló wámúwámú láti rí wípé kò sí ìjàmbá kankan pé gbogbo ohun tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni ó tẹ̀lé òfin. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni àwọn tí àjọ Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn àwọn náà wà tí wọ́n mójútó láti rí i pé kò sí jàgídíjàgan àbí dàrúdàpọ̀ tí ó lè da omi àlàáfíà ìlú rú. Ẹ rí i pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ aláàbò láti àjọ Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn ni wọ́n wà níbí tí wọ́n jókòó pẹ̀lú àwọn ọlọ́pàá tí wọ́n fẹ́ kí ohun gbogbo lọ ní ìrọ̀wọ́ ìrọ̀sẹ̀. Ní kò pẹ́ tí adébílẹ̀ kan ní ẹni tí ó jẹ́ adarí àjọ àmọ̀tẹ́kùn nípìnlẹ̀ Ondo tí wọ́n ṣẹ̀ kúrò ń bí lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n wá yọjú sí àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ náà tí wọ́n sì rọ̀ wọ́n wípé gbogbo ohun tí wọ́n bá ń ṣe kí wọ́n jẹ́ kí ó lọ ní ìrọwọ́rọsẹ̀.
Yes, we are still going to go into the statistics, and those statistics will shock you. Like I have been saying, the problem is not just only limited to one place in one part of Africa. All black African people are messed up. Completely screwed and messed up. All black people. See, I continue to get inspiration, most especially from the younger generation, who will not take no for an answer, but will demand their rights. Within the last few couple of weeks, I've been speaking to varieties of, not only in Contraption Location 9, I've been speaking to a variety of all these youngsters in many of the African countries, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Uganda, UG, Tanzania, Ghana, yes. And I've been speaking to a handful of them. And many of them are awake. But if I look into the ratio of those that are awake in Nigeria, as opposed to the ratio of those that are awake in other parts of the black African countries, the ratio in Nigeria is still very low compared to the population of those children I've spoken to. Now, I want you to please listen to this young man. It was trending as at one point in time, and I want you to listen to this.
And you think you will kill Mohammed Gaddafi, the best friend of Putin, and you think Putin will join Europe to become a European country? No, Russia will never join Europe. Russia have natural resources. Russia have gas. Russia have fuel. Russia have oil. Every important thing you are seeing in Europe, they are surviving by Russia and Africa. Now Russia is out. Go and see all these European countries. If you go to supermarket, everything is costly now. Gas. Go and see gas in Europe. Everything is costly. Gas is costly. Oil is costly. Everything. Because Putin is not giving. Even light bill is costly now. If anybody is living in Europe, they all know what I'm talking about. Light bill is costly. You hate your fellow black people. This is selling your fellow black men. Do you know? This is like selling your fellow black men. Because they give you money and you bring back your fellow black people from peace and take them to suffer, to die in poverty. What each and every black man who is living in UK, what they are making in a month, if they go Uganda, Rwanda, can they make that? Can they make that thing in Rwanda? They can't. Even 50 euro, you can't make it in Rwanda in one day. What job opportunity do Mr. Paul have in Rwanda? Rwanda president, what job opportunity do you have? Tell me. Do you have any job opportunity for these peoples that UK want to deport them back to Rwanda? Why can't you use your sense? Your country people are there. You don't create any job opportunity for Rwanda peoples. You don't create any job opportunity for Rwanda peoples. No company.
The UK wants to use Rwanda
because of money,
as a country whereby all black African people deported from the UK will be shipped to.
You please sit and think. You just want to accept and start deporting. Why? This is what Gambian President Adam Barrow do in 2017 by signing a deportation document with German government by deporting Gambians of 3 years. And they pay him just, I will call it just 1.5 million euro. Just 1.5 million euro. He signed deportation with German government, 3 years contract deportation. 2017, 2018, 2019, they were deporting Gambians like shit from German. Because Gambian president have signed deportation contract with them, 3 years. And now they signed another deportation contract with German government. This document came out, Gambian government says no one signed it. Why? Do you people think we are fools? Come on. Let's stop fooling our peoples. Leaders of Africa, let's stop fooling our peoples. Because your peoples are your peoples. Fight for them, stand for them.
Leaders of Africa, stop fooling your people.
Support your peoples. Give job opportunity to your peoples. Don't let people treat your peoples like the way they treat your forefathers. African leaders, are you people not thinking about how they treat your forefathers?
No, they're not.
In 1850s, in 1860s, in 1870s, how they treat your forefathers in Africa? How they steal them, chain them from Africa. Gambians, I will not tell you people's Gambian President Adam Barrow. Can you think about your grandfather Kunta Kinte? Kunta Kinte was kidnapped by his own fellow black people and given to Americans to become slave for Americans.
Correct.
And Gambian called Kunta Kinte.
You remember?
Still his videos is circulating.
Roots. Toby. The white people gave him Toby.
Why can't we think about this? African leaders, why can't you sit and know that and put this in your mind? Have this heart that no one should play with your peoples like the way they treat your peoples the way they treat your forefathers. Whenever I think about our forefathers, how white people make them slave, how they treat them, how they kill them, I become so angry. That's why people like us, it's not good for us to become leader in Africa. Because we will become a very dictator to white peoples. But African presidents, when they become leader, they become dictator to their own people. And
you hear that?
Friendly and lovely to white peoples. You cannot be lovely to your peoples and become dictator to white peoples. What is difficult in this? It's your country. My friend, if they deport your peoples, put document.
Yes, indeed.
And you think you will kill Mohammed Gaddafi, the best
You see?
friend?
You see that? Bukola Odufaderi Olusanya, good morning to you. You're watching the stream from the west coast of the United States in California. Good morning. Estaiwe Toga, thank you. Patrick Umebu, thank you. They are waking up. They are. They won't take no for an answer. See, you have a situation whereby the politicians destroyed the educational system. And not just only that, the statistics in Nigeria will shock you. It will shock you. Because the last time I said emphatically that none of these people, none of them, minus just only one, Umaru Yar'Adua, if not for his bad health, wanted to pay a leap attention to education. But starting all the way from Gowon till the present, none of your leaders were interested in education. Gowon was never interested. Murtala Mohammed was never interested. Obasanjo, as someone that that took over the mantle of leadership after Mohammed was killed in that bloody Friday, February 13th, 1976 military coup, was never interested. Shagari was never interested in education. Buhari, in his first time as a military junta, was never interested. Babangida was never interested, because I'll still play you that clip. I don't know about Shonekon. Abacha was never interested. Abdulsalam was never interested. Obasanjo's second coming in 1999 never took any interest in educating those children that are now 23, 25, and 31 years. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, never interested. Rather, he was busy building Alamanjiri School in the north, in the northern part of Nigeria, where they don't value education and they continue to question him. Who sent him the job to build Alamanjiri School? That was what they were saying in the north. Because Goodluck Ebele Jonathan was toiling with their messed up system, their messed up feudal system. Before we go into the statistics, let me get you, I think I brought it in as well. I hope, yes, A.A. Almanjiri. Watch this. Abused and abandoned, Almanjiri, the reality of begging in northern Nigeria.
Hello guys, salam alaikum, welcome to my reality. So today on my reality, I'm actually going to talk about something that is really bugging me, and that is the begging system in the north. Yes, a lot of us, when we talk about the Almajiri system, but the truth is, Almajiri system is one part of the problem, not the whole problem in the north. Because if we have women with 2 hands and 2 legs begging on the street with all their family, yes, children, you find them with 5, 6 children on the street begging, that is a big problem for us. Because the truth is, these kids are going to grow up, and then they won't want to do anything because they will feel like it's easy to just sit and have people give you money or give you food and your problem is solved. But the truth is, the problem is not solved. I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and he was like, it's called Mutwa Zuchia. And I'm like, why is it only in the north that we have that? And he's like, no, the government is not helping matters. But I'm like, see, that's the problem we have in the north. We always have this feeling of entitlement, like it's always the government's fault, you know. You probably had an accident, it's the government's fault, you know. You've not drank water in a day, it's the government's fault. Like we always have a way to blame somebody for things that we can actually control. Because I told him it's not the government's fault that these women are seated on the street begging. Because the Nigeria that we're claiming is hard is the same Nigeria that you will find another woman by the roadside selling corn, selling yam, roasting pears, and doing all sorts of, business to make ends meet for her and her family. But we don't see that in the north because the government did not buy you the yam. So
Listen to that very well.
Right? Well, it's a bad habit and we need to stop it. And I'm talking to each and every single one of us out there, influencers, that feel like, okay, we can come on social media and just bash other tribes, bash other cultures, bash other traditions when we have our own problems and we've not fixed it. That's really terrible. So if you're an influencer out there, I feel like you should lend your voice to this cause. Those women should not be sitting by the roadside begging. And my friend also told me something. He said, each and every single one of us enable them. Do you know how we do that? By actually giving them money. We do that. So if you're one of those people that actually indulge those women to come by the roadside and keep begging, you're not helping the society. You're actually crippling the society. So yes, we need to stop it. Now I'm saying this because I went round Asokoro because it was something that I was curious about. I'm like, okay, everybody's talking about this whole Almajiri system, And when you talk about the Almajiri system has a lot of issues, wrong with it. But is that really the problem? Okay, the women that sit by the roadside and beg, what do we call them? So I decided to go and see what exactly, is the difference. So I went and I made a video, short video, as you can see, of women seated by the roadside. This is in Asokoro here in Abuja, begging. These women have 2 hands, 2 legs. They're not hands.
Hear that?
They're using their kids. Like, it's heartbreaking to see kids do this. Like, it is really heartbreaking. And for those of us Muslims, maybe we're forgetting, but Islam says the mother is the first teacher of the child. So even if you can't afford to put your child in school, there are other ways you can actually teach the child, not bringing him or her out on the street begging. And then again, I went around this same Asoko region.
We are going to go into that statistics.
That are selling yam, roasted corn, roasted pear, and all sorts of things, including drinks to make ends meet. But you want to know the difference between these 2 women? The first part, this one, they're from the north. And this one, they're not. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from. So yes, before we want to feel entitled, let's think, are these women being governed by another government that is not governing the north, or what exactly is happening? We've accepted this whole entitlement, this whole Mutua Zuchia thing as a part of us when we talk about Mutua Zuchia. Like, it is not a part of us. It is not a part of us. So if we want to tackle the Almajiri system, let's also tackle this system because it is also bad. I see no reason why a woman with 2 arms and 2 legs, like each and every single one of us, is seated by the roadside begging in a place like the north where we have a lot of things to offer. We have a lot of things to offer. We spoke about hawking some time back, where hawking is bad because it puts the child at risk of a lot of things, right? Now, does it stop you from actually selling these things in front of your house? People do them. I have a friend in Kano State that actually sells this local sweet thing, Aleo Madara, Tuamadara, Madula, and all those things, and she's making money off it. This is a woman that has refused to just sit idle and do nothing. So what is your own excuse? How much do you need to start our business? How much do you need to start selling akara? How much do you need to make Tuamadara? Now the funny thing about this is, these women are begging out of choice.
Listen to that.
Yes. Now, it's unfortunate I don't have the video here, but you sit down and have a conversation with one of them and ask them, what exactly do you want out of life? They don't want anything out of life because this life is easier for them to just sit and beg. So how do we tackle this problem? Is this not a challenge? Because whether we like it or not, these kids that are seated there begging with these women are going to grow up. That's the life they know. They're going to follow the same suit as the Almajiris.
You see?
They're going to be uneducated. They're going to roam around the street as they feel like, do what they feel like, how they feel like, probably end up in bad hands. And then what happens? We're faced with the same circle of challenges we've been faced with before because we refused to tackle it the right way. So yes, if you're watching this video and your voice matters in the North, I feel we should use it to fight this. Because there's this man that sells glasses in Sahad stores, and he's handicapped, but I admire him a lot. Why? Because if you give him money, the first thing he asks you is, for what? He just hopes you're not looking down on him. And I'm like, no. One time we were there with a friend of mine, and my friend was like, okay, this man is handicapped, let me give him money. And he gave him money, and he's like, what for? And it was an awkward situation because he felt, okay, I'm supposed to give you money, right? And then the man is like, I sell glasses. Do you want the glasses? Should I bring it? This is a man that is even handicapped. And then we have women with 2 hands and 2 legs begging on the street, and we say it's not a problem. Like, do we really know what our priorities are? I feel like if you're an influencer out there, you need to do something about it. You need to do something about it. Some of them will tell you, oh no, their husband died, they are all widows. Like, even those that are selling cons, they are widows too. They are widows too. But instead, they're teaching their children how to cope with life. I went to buy something one time, and then this little boy attended to me, and my cousin was like, he's so little. How does he know so much? All the prices and all that. I said, because he was taught. Do you think the woman on the roadside with her child begging would teach this child that same thing? No. All the child knows is, Haji Allah Badisa, Haji Allah Achemaka. Like, it doesn't really make sense. It does not really make sense. Someone said it's the preachers. The preachers don't preach against it. They don't do this. Even if they don't preach against it, we know what is right, we know what is wrong. Why are we indulging it? I feel it's about time we wake up and see how we can actually help the situation, because we are all part of the problem. Yes, many of us influencers are busy on social media trying to insult other tribes, trying to insult other religion because we feel we are better. No, we are
Insult
not.
other religion. We're still coming
We're not
there.
better. We all have issues. And until we all come together and solve the problem, we're not going anywhere. We're going to be faced with these same challenges we've been faced with. We're going to give birth to kids, their kids, our kids are going to give birth to kids, and their kids are also still going to be complaining about the same issue.
Did I not highlighted that?
Instead, we're
I
looking
did.
at the other tribe. We're looking at the other religion. They are the ones with the problem. Come on.
See, the children
I
of
feel
those
like
that
something we
go
can tackle
on,
if we want to.
Obasanjo refused to educate.
Let's also tackle this.
They've now given birth to new Alamanjiris too. They were Alamanjiris
You know what I want to bring to our table.
that their father chunked out
Reality we've been shying away from. I was talking to
at the time.
friends one time about
Yakubu Gowon, Murtala Mohammed, Obasanjo, and the rest of them failed to educate those people, and those people, they've chunked out children again without education, without anything.
It's within all our capacities.
And now it's like it's the cycle is repeating itself.
The government cannot attend to each and every single one of us. You're not telling me that the one selling corn is the government that gave her the corn. They didn't do that. She found ways. She made it happen. So do the same thing. Alright guys, anyways, that's all I wanted to say today, okay? Do take care of yourself. As always, do not forget to please like, subscribe, and share. And of course, you guys should comment, because your comments really mean a lot to me. Although there are those that send me deep.
Yes, you can clearly see that somebody is talking, even in the north. See, I had this encounter with a man during those period. I was frequent in the north. This old man, I was with IBB at the time, trying to gather some information in one of my private sessions those days with him. And this old man then walked in, wretched man. But you know the culture of those people in the north. They can turn up in front of the gate and insist they want to see Megiddo. The wretched man, old man, very old man, wretched, then came in, and guess what? What he was demanding from IBB. He said to IBB, did IBB remember that his wife died a few couple of months ago? And that now he's now set, he wants to marry his wife's junior sister, and that he needed the bride price, and that IBB should give him the bride price to go marry the wife's younger sister, who I believe still menstruating. At the top of my head, this man should be in his late 70s, early 80s. That time. I'm talking about some 12, 13 years ago. And very intelligently, IBB said the man should go and wait for him in the waiting lobby. Now, what am I trying to point out? When the man went into the waiting lobby, IBB then looked at me. I looked at him in the face. And then he said, Frank, this is part of the problem that we are talking about. Because the man was speaking in Hausa, so IBB then interpreted everything in English for me. And then said, the wife died a couple of months ago, And now he wants to marry his wife's junior sister. Now, IBB said, he said, Frank, look at the problem in the north. A man who does not have his own money to marry a woman legally. So what about the responsibility that comes after the marriage? What if they start bearing children? Is he going to come back to me to start begging for money that, oh, his wife delivered, he wants money to... He said, that is the problem of the north. And then I turned around and I said to him, but who created this problem? I said, the northern oligarch created this problem. That, see, 13 years, we're still parabolating in the same area. Ifeoma Nwobodo, good evening to you. Welcome to the stream. Education. Now, still on education, because the number is going to come to you, it's going to come your way towards the tail end. Because I want many people to share in that Psalms. Alamanjiri. If those people were educated, if the northern leaders summoned the courage to educate their children, perhaps the north will not be lacking behind the other geopolitical zones in the country. And make no mistakes, perhaps many of these children that were Alamanjiris were destined to be great in life, were destined to be engineers, doctors, surgeons, name it. But because of the ruthless feudal system in the north, the gift that's been imbibed in those children, that they came forthwith to this plane of existence, the feudal system in the north killed it. But you see, the same people, the same leaders that refuse to educate the children of the common man, that will never give their own children peace today, fail to realize that, oh, they can educate their own children, but they don't really want to educate those children. Their children will never have peace. The children of the rich will never have peace. They will never have peace. Dead serious. Now, Deborah Samuel was killed. I'm not going to go into that, but it is still part of education, because if Deborah's case did not come into the limelight, many of us will perhaps not know exactly how the Fulanis hated the Southerners. It is not a matter of Islam. These people are just bloodthirsty suckers. They're just bloodthirsty suckers that want to continue to drink human blood. That's all what they want. It is not Islam. Before I go into the statistics, let me play you this clip of King Abdullah of Jordan. And then after this, then we will go into the Psalms. Because this is not about, you see, I don't know the type of Islam they practice up in northern Nigeria. But Saudi Arabia, the Arabs that brought you Islam, don't practice such Islam. The first thing I want to ask Buhari, Buhari is dead anyway. Where do they get their own Islam religion from? Because it is not the same Islam that I know. It is not. Where they got hold of that Islam and the hadiths they are preaching is what I don't know. In fact, before I do this, let me first of all bring in, let me see if I have the man's preaching here. Yeah, I have it. I want you to listen to this first, and then I will then go into King Abdallah's address to the European Union.
Jiya an ce wani yaro ya yi rubutu ya zagi manzo Allah Sakkwato ya yi rubutu ga Facebook ya faɗi maganganun da ba su da daɗin faɗi game da annabin rahama kuma cikin Sakkwato nace a maka yayi kure ai ba Sakkwato ake irin wannan shiga ta ka mu kashewa muka yi mu akan manzo Allah ya kan mu kashe don haka ba Kano bace Kano yan kasuwa ne shi yasa kaga an ce ma manzon Allah dan luwadi an tsaya ana jayayya an ce ma manzon Allah kwarto an tsaya ana mu na kashewa muka yi wallahi kwadda ba manzon Allah bu iya kamar shi mu kashe
Basically,
Allah ya gafarta mu wani yaro naga wani bawan Allah jiya ga Facebook yace wai an ce mahaukaci ne yace to ai mu ma mahaukata ne
basically what he's trying to say is that in Islam, blaspheming is, they should kill you. There's no forgiveness. That was exactly what he was actually saying right in that clip. And now I'm going to take you through to King Abdallah's address to the European Union. And these are the custodians of Islam. Let me see. Yeah, let me bring it in. Yes. Okay. Oh, no. Sorry, guys. Let me remove them. Let me remove the two of them. And let me bring this back in. Yes. Now, these are the custodian of Islam. And I want you to please watch this very carefully.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Mr. President, honorable members, your excellencies, my friends, thank you all. It is an honor to speak before the European Parliament once again. As I look around this historic chamber, I see it holds many hundreds of people. But in truth, there are with us today millions more from different countries, histories, and perspectives. So we who are gathered here have two things in common. First is our responsibility to these millions, the people who have entrusted us with their hopes and fears. And second, we are all very fortunate for a life spent in the service of others is a life fully lived. But only if we live up to the expectations of the millions of people with us in this hall today. If we falter, The most vulnerable pay the highest price. The young men and women who look to their future and see nothing. Bewildered refugee mothers clutching their children with no place to call home. Or anxious fathers who cannot find jobs to provide for their loved ones. And the many who feel sidelined, their identity under threat. The defining feature of the past decade has been people finding their voices.
Did you hear that?
Millions across the world have poured onto the streets, marched, occupied, sat down, sat in, tweeted, podcasts, hashtag what they want. Loud and clear. And they all want the same thing. A fair chance, a fighting chance.
Did you hear that?
Dear friends, people around the world have voiced their desired destination, but are looking to us to guide them along the path, looking to us to foresee and prepare for the obstacles ahead. This calls for several what-if questions. And these questions are not merely a whimsical or theoretical exercise, especially in my region where worst-case scenarios don't lay comfortably within the realm of the hypothetical, but often wander too closely to the borders of our reality. Furthermore, what happens in the Middle East has a way of making itself felt everywhere around the world. So let me start with our region's deepest wound. What if the world gives up on the two-state solution of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict? 70+ years of conflict have played havoc with hopes for justice. Today, one-staters are actively seeking to impose an unthinkable solution on the region and the world. One state propped up by structural inequalities with Palestinians as second-class subjects. One state turning its back on its neighborhood, perpetuating divisions among peoples and faiths worldwide. 5 years ago, I stood in this chamber and spoke of the dangers of failing to move forward with peace. And today I must say frankly that the dangers have grown. Violence continues, settlement building continues, disregard for international law continues. I've said it countless times and in countless ways, but I will say it again and again. A more peaceful world is not possible.
A more peaceful
without a
world.
stable Middle East. And a stable Middle East is not possible without peace between Palestinians and the Israelis.
Israel.
What if Jerusalem, a city that is close to my heart personally and of great historic significance to my family, remains disputed? Can we afford to rob Christians and Muslims alike of the spirituality, peace, and coexistence that this city symbolizes, and instead allow it to descend into political conflict? Now fast forward to the most recent standoff between the United States and Iran. What if next time neither side steps away from the brink?
I've used that terminology. What if?
An all-out war jeopardizes the stability of the entire region. What's more, it risks massive disruptions of the entire global economy, including markets, but threatens a resurgence of terrorism across the world. And I'll ask you another what if. What if Iraq fails to realize the potential and aspirations of its people and slips back into an erratic 17-year cycle of recovery and relapse? Or worse yet, conflict. Iraq is home to 12% of the world's proven oil reserves. But more importantly, it is home to over 40 million people who have suffered through 4 decades of war, crippling sanctions, occupation, sectarian conflict, and the terror of ISIS. Today, their future rests on a fragile peace. And I, for one, will not abandon our brothers and sisters there. Now, what if Syria remains hostage to global rivalries and spirals back into civil conflict? What if we see a reemergence of ISIS and Syria becomes a staging ground for attacks against the rest of the world? Syria may be out of the headlines, with its suffering out of sight and out of mind. But the crisis is far from over. Over the past 9 months, more than 500,000 people have been displaced, many of them already refugees. Do any of us in this hall want to see another Syrian refugee crisis unfold?
No.
With all its horror and heartbreak? Or another innocent child washed up upon your shores? And I know I speak for everyone here when I say absolutely not. And let me ask you, what if Libya collapses into an all-out war and ultimately a failed state? What if Libya is the new Syria, just much closer to the continent you all call home? And let me say again, what if Arab governments fail to create the more than 60 million jobs our youth will need in the coming decade? And if we fail, wouldn't we in fact be creating a perfect setting for extremist groups? We make their job of recruitment easier if we leave behind a trail of vulnerability and hopelessness. Can we afford to let the region's young people live without hope? My friends, let this reflection upon what if scenarios be a productive exercise, one that can preempt countless tragedies and safeguard our people along their journey. My faith in God reinforces my optimism and my belief in the strength and resilience of humanity. There is always a better and much more united version of us around every corner. The Holy Quran teaches us that those who endure in patience and put their trust in their Lord will enjoy the greatest rewards.
You see that? You hear that?
Patience is hard in a world that never seems to slow down, where people make split-second decisions and expect instantaneous results.
Correct.
Leadership. Leadership, however, demands the very opposite: reflection, wisdom, and the long view. More than ever, we need patient politics, because we all have a responsibility to safeguard our people's long-term interest and welfare, to react to rapidly unfolding events with measured responses, not knee-jerk reactions. Because politics is not a game where the fastest win.
Did you hear that?
Sometimes the faster we go, the further away we end up from the finish line. My father, the late King Hussein, taught me that peacemaking is always the harder but the higher path. And a tough road is best walked with our friends. Friends like you and the people of Europe, so that together we can reach the future that both our peoples aspire for and that they and our whole world deserve. Thank you very much.
Yes. You can clearly hear that. That was from the perspective of an Arab king, King Abdallah. Okay, now, guys, pull your strings together, because right now we want to go into the nitty-gritty of today's stream. Before we start, have a look at this. I came with this and I said, stupidity is knowing the truth but still believe the lies. It is the aspect of human behavior that shows a lack of sense or judgment. Stupidity in Yoruba language is what we called oponu. Tọ́ba ní òpònú èèyàn ní ẹnìkan. Tọ́ba pè ẹni òpònú. Òpònú is being stupid. And that means you lack any sense of judgment. And you always believe in lies and not the truth. This is the problem inside the Yoruba agitation. But this is not a show for the Yoruba agitation. Let me start with this. Are you guys aware of this? I once used this before. Facts about Location 9. Population in 1991. And then the number of institutions. Northwest, 22,910,412. Northwest made up, well, in 1991, 25.8% of the entire population. Northeast, 11,900,913, and that's 13.4% of the entire population. And then you can see the number of institutions next to them. North Central, 12,133,696, 13.6% of the entire population in Location 9. Southwest, 17,455,138, 19.6% of the entire population of Location 9. And look at the total amount of industries in the Southwest. Institutions, 1,575 institutions. And this made up 27% of the entire national total. Southeast, 10,774,977, 12.1% of the entire population. Number of institutions in the Southeast, 1,208, and this made up 20.7%. South, 13,392,963, and this made up 15.1%. And then number of institutions in South, 1,114 institutions, and this made up 19.1%. Okay, now let's start with this. I'm going to come in with this particular one. And now you are looking at primary school enrollment in Nigeria between the years 1995 to 2001. And between 1995 and 2001, we're looking at 6 years of events. 6 years in numbers. Now, you can clearly see here in gray at the top, enrollment, number of schools, number of teachers. In 1995, Nigeria had 17,994,620 enrollment in primary school. And the total number of schools across the country, primary school, was 39,677 in total. And the number of teachers in primary school in 1995 came to 299,910. 1996, 19,794,082. Number of schools increased a little bit, 41,660. Number of teachers increased a little bit, 412,377. 1997, enrollment up 21,161,852. Number of schools up 43,951. Number of teachers equally up 406,959. 1998. It is up again in 1998, 28,473,886. Again, number of schools up 45,621. And number of teachers equally up 416,183. 1999, up again. It's increasing every year. 23 million enrollment, 709,949. Number of schools in 1999 equally increased from 45,621 to 47,902. Number of schools. Number of teachers increased from 416,183 in 1998 to 455,961 in 1999. In the year 2000, enrollment again is up in primary school. And this enrollment took us right up to 24,895,446. Again, number of schools increased to 48,860. Number of teachers again increased to 461,027. And then in 2001, enrollment again in primary school increased to 27,384,991. Number of schools increased again to 49,343, and the number of teachers equally increased to 489,018 in 2001. Louis Peter, your work. We're now digging deep. And these numbers, enrollment from 1995 to 2001, I want you to take note of those enrollment figures, because the enrollment, you're going to see the difference later on. Because I worked on this, and the source of this sums is from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. Now, take note. Let me take you through to the next slide. Okay? This is the next one, the second slide. Now, here in this slide, we've got the same thing that we've done for primary school, secondary school enrollment in Nigeria between 1995 to 2001. Again, 6 years. 1995 enrollment in secondary school, 15,084,546. Number of secondary school across the nooks and crannies of the country, 6,452. Number of teachers, 127,114. 1996, 5,389,619. Number of schools increased to 9,111. Number of teachers equally increased to 145,665. 1997. Again, increase in enrollment in secondary school. 5,578,255. Number of schools equally increased to 7,311. Teachers increased to 143. No, teachers decreased for the first time to 143,032. Decreased. So there was a decrease in the number of teachers. Now, do they manage to investigate why there was a decrease, minus, in the number of teachers, despite the fact that enrollment and the total number of schools increased? For any publisher in any civilized world, that 1997 statistics is a cause for concern. If I'm asked to administer the entire publishing scene in Nigeria, 1997 secondary school enrollment in Nigeria would give me sleepless night. 1998, again, enrollment increased to 5,795,807. Again, number of schools increased. This time, number of teachers increased to 144,895. 1999, again, increment, 6,056,618. Number of schools increased to 8,113. Number of teachers increased to 159,384. The year 2000, increase again, 6,056,618. Again, no, 6,300,000. The year 2000, let me take this again. The year 2000, I've treated 1999. The year 2000, 6,359,449. Number of schools increased to 8,275. Number of teachers increased. Decrease again from 159,384 to 155,109. Second time running. First in 1997 and now again in 2001. Again, 2001. Number of enrollment increased to 6,995,394. Number of schools is the same, 8,275. Number of teachers increased, 174,884. It's really going to get really interesting, guys. And you've seen the school's enrollment. This is only focused on primary and secondary school, not higher institutions of learning. Jeff White Dove. Thank you. May you live long like a Methuselah as well. May your days be long. Osagio Barren August Paul, not time. I haven't seen you. No, I don't. Pa Ayuade Banjo and Gag are after the money in the struggle, after what they did to Mayegun. Fob was right. No, Pa Ayuade Banjo is not among. You want to say Professor Banji Akitoye? Pa Ayuade Banjo is not. No, Pa Ayuade Banjo is the Afenifere leader. Is not. Oh, you want to say Professor Banji Akitoye? No, Professor Banji Akitoye and Pa Ayuade Banjo don't see eye to eye. Yes. Correction. Mayegun has been working alongside with Professor Banji Akitoye. Pa Ayuade Banjo has got a very, very big dignity and respect as an elder statesman. You want to say Professor Banji Akitoye and not Pa Ayuade Banjo. I have to correct that straight away. Okay? Yes, I'll correct that. Okay, guys, you've seen those 2 slides. Now let's come back. Let's now get onto the next slide. This one. Now, in this slide, remember I told you to take note of those enrollment from those parts. Now, primary school enrollment rate in Nigeria 1995 to 2001. These are the six years old, and then year enrollment, population, difference in the population, and then enrollment rate. In 1995, remember from the very first slide, this particular slide, I told you to take note of this very first one. This very first one. I told you to take note of the enrollment. You know, we dealt with enrollment, number of schools, number of teachers for both primary school and secondary school. And here in this third slide, that's why I don't really want to confuse you, because we're having to deal with numbers here. So here, we've got primary school enrollment rate. Okay, year enrollment, population of the children across the country, okay, between 6 and 11-year-old, their population, and then the difference in that population of those 6 to 11-year-old, and then enrollment rate. In 1995, remember, enrollment was 17,994,620 in all the primary schools across the whole country. Okay? And you've got the entire population of those 6 to 11-year-old in the country. 32,207,628. So out of the 32,207,638, only 17,994,620 are in enrollment. So the difference, those that are not in school, in primary school, is the difference between 32,207,628 out of 17 million. And what we have is 40,231,008. So enrollment rate is 56%. In 1996, 19,794,082. They've got 32,916,196 children. Increase. But enrollment in 1996 was up. The difference came down in 1996 to 13,122,114, you had 60% enrollment rate. 1997, 21 million. Population, 33 million. Difference, 12 million. 63% enrollment rate. 98, 22 million. You see, it is going up, 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 up. Population, 34,380,440. Difference, 11,906,554 children are out of school, not in enrollment. You had 65% enrollment. 1999, 23,709,949. Population, 35 million. Difference, 11.4 million. Enrollment rate, 67%. Year 2000, enrollment, close to 25 million. Population, 35,909,820. Difference, 11,014,374. Enrollment rate, 69%. And in 2001, enrollment shot up to 27,384,991. The population of those 6 to 11-year-old, 36,699,836. And then the difference, 9,314,845, 75% enrollment rate. And that's the grand total at the bottom. Let's go into the next slide. And it's going to get a little bit scary very soon. Now, this is secondary school enrollment rate in Nigeria, 1995 to 2011. 2001, 6 years. We've dealt with primary school. This is secondary school. It is a totally different ballgame that we are looking at for secondary school. Totally different ballgame. Here, 1995, 5 million people are in enrollment in secondary school out of a population of 15,709,634. And this secondary school enrollment is between the ages of 12 to 17 years. Difference, 10 million. Enrollment rate in secondary school, 32%. 1996, 5.3 million. Population, 60 million. Difference, 10.6 million. Enrollment rate, 34%. 97, 5.5 million. Population, 16 million. Difference, 10.8 million. Enrollment rate, 34. 98, 5.7 million. Population, 16.7 million. Difference, 10.9 million. 35% enrollment rate. 99, 5.7 million. Population, 17.1 million. Difference, 11.11 million. Again, 35% enrollment rate. Year 2000, 6.3 million. Population, 17.5 million. Difference, 11.1 million. Enrollment rate, 36%. 2001, 6.9 million enrollment in secondary school out of a population of 17.9 million. The difference, those that are out of secondary school, 10.9 million. Enrollment rate, again, 39%. These are numbers. But you will never get this, and many people are not interested in these numbers. That is why they continue to mess the future of those children up, because they know nobody is interested in those numbers. None. Because what happened is the majority of the people are stupid. They're stupid. Now let's carry on. It's going to get really nasty. Now, look at this one. Now, this is primary and secondary school enrollment rate in Nigeria, 1995 to 2001, 6 years. In 1995, remember, primary school 6 to 11-year-old, 17,994,620. Secondary school, 12 to 17-year-old, 5,084,546. When we add those two together, we get 23,076,166. Now, look at the allocation in million and then percentage. Allocation in million and percentage is exactly what your government in Nigeria, location 9, was spending to educate both primary and secondary school in Nigeria between the years 1995 to 2001. So, combined to educate primary and secondary school in Nigeria with a total population of about 23,076,166. Your government budgeted 153 million naira. Excuse me. To educate primary, secondary school together with those children, according to the statistics that we've worked out, 23 million of them. So government had a budget of 153 million naira for 23 million children across the nooks and crannies of the country. Now, in terms of percentage of government spending and budget, it is 8.29%. Watch the numbers carefully. Watch the allocation and then the percentage in terms of GDP, gross domestic product. I think I should say GNP, gross national product. 96. 19 million in primary school. Well, 19.7 million in primary school, 5.3 million in secondary school. Altogether, 10.6 million. Your government had a budget of 189 million for those two. Now, look at 1995 and look at 1996. From 8.29% in 1995 down to 8.12%. But the numbers, check the numbers. $1997. Yeah, I think I've not worked on those numbers. Yeah, I think I made a mistake in the combined numbers. If I quickly check that with you, let me do this. 17,994. I remembered what I was doing. 620 plus 5,084 546. Yeah, I got that one right. 23 million 76. Now, what about the next one? 19 million 794 082 plus 5 million 389 619. Yeah, that should have been 1996 combined should have been 25,183,701. Yes, my mistake. I should have worked on those numbers, guys, as you can see. Yes, so that 1996 combined should have been 25,183,701, and government shared 189 million amongst them, down from 8.29 to 8.12. 97 the same, 21 million 161,852 plus 5 million 578,578 255. Again, 1997 should have been 26,740,108. Yes, and 274 million was shared amongst primary and secondary school, down 5.83%. It's been going down, 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 down. 1998, let's do this. 22 million 473 886 plus 5 million 795 807. That will give us a total of 28 million 269,693. Yes, in 1998. And they raised it up to 377 million. So they increased it to 7.35%. 1999, it was increased again, 8.82%. Down a little bit. And in the year 2000, 665 million, 10.16%. And in 2001, it went up to 911 million, down 6.51%, because enrollment in primary and secondary school increased. In 2001, for instance, 27,384 991 plus 6,995,394. Now, we had a total number of 34,380,385 combined. Yeah, 34 million in total. So, they had a budget of 980 million naira. And that was why it was down 6.51%. Apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen. That was due to the fact that I was trying to work my way around through the slides and I forgot to amend those ones. Now, it's going to get very interesting here. We've seen that one. Okay, let me see. Yeah, we've seen that one. Okay, now let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we've seen that one. Now the next one is this one. What I've done here is compare African countries' education spending in terms of percentage gross national product league table. Look at how much other African countries are spending to educate their children. Angola top the list, and AO The country code is 244. Angola spends 4.9%. Cote d'Ivoire, 5%. Ghana, next door neighbor, 4.4% on education. Kenya, 6.5%. Malawi, 5.4%. Mozambique, 4.1%. Look at Nigeria, NG, 234. Look at that in green, 0.76% on education. South Africa, 27, 7.9%. Look at Tanzania, country code 255, 3.4%. And Uganda, UG, 256. Uganda is even spending more in education in terms of their gross national product, 2.6% Uganda spend. Do you now know where your problem lies? Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Which was why, when I said, the problem, all of them destroyed the education. It's been like that. Remember, I once said to you, Awolowo begged Gowon to please educate the Nigerian children, and that he will get credit for it, and not him. But all of them not bothered. They are simply not bothered. That's the terrible mess that you are all in. The mess that you can never get away from. The mess they have created for you. And that's why they educate your children this way. This is how they educate your children. Because they don't care. They just don't care. They're not bothered. They're not bothered. They educate your children this way. They educate them that way. They educate them this way because their children will never attend such an educational system, such a classroom like this. They educate your children this way. They're not bothered. No, they're not. And look at all the classrooms. Those are the classrooms. Like this. The classrooms. See? And foolish people still follow them around. The classrooms are like this. This is how they educate your children. And then they educate their own children this way in Ivy League institutions around the world. They educate their own children this way But in your own shithole country, look at university students receiving lectures, sitting on the ground, on the floor. I witnessed this one. And that, look at that. Will they, if their children attend these institutions, will they allow such institutions to rot in this way? The answer is no. And then, because they've paid an I don't care attitude to education, they educate your children like this.
Gentlemen, this is Arosa Primary School in the heart of Benin, Apapava Road. I'm here this morning because I came to park my car inside the compound and I saw some children. So I thought maybe it was an abandoned school. Only for me to find out that it's a functional school and kids are actually having class. Right now they're in break. As you can see, it's raining and this is a class where people are. This is a class where people are taking, children are taking lecture. In the heart of Benin, this is a class where children are taking lectures. Something like this is not good. This is not good at all. The government has to come to the rescue of this school right now because this is appalling. This is really, really appalling. Children are inside the rain. Children are inside the rain taking classes in this school. This is an embarrassment to us. This is an embarrassment to Nigeria. This is wrong. This is completely wrong. This is the school. I was shocked to find out that this is a school where children take classes. You know, that's a school where children take lectures. I mean, I'm short of words. I'm really, really short of words. I'm shocked. You know? When I break, one class. This one for the first one. I want to take class for here. So you see, everywhere is raining and the kids have nowhere to even stay. So a lot of them are outside because they cannot even have, there's practically no roof over their head anymore. You know, and this is supposed to be a school. This is supposed to be a school. This is really, really shocking. You know, now the kids are outside because the rain has driven them from their classes. There are no chairs, there are no tables, and practically there's no floor for them to sit down. You know, this is again, what's this school name again?
Only Arosa Primary School.
Only Arosa Primary School.
Yes.
Where is it located? Apapava Road in Benin.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. No, this so this. What about this class? Completely collapsed. This class collapsed.
Yes, sir.
Now wow. So how do you manage to take classes? Your former class. What class are you? My sis.
Yes.
So how are you managing only that one class now? Primary 5 and primary 6. Wait. Calm down. So already they're beating her now. So already they're sweating like this now. Was that your own class? This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. May I go check on other classes? So now when I began 6th class before, so now all these classes don't fall. So now only these two that's what they use now, just 2 classes. From primary 1 to primary 6. In one class. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Let me apologize to people. I'm so sorry. This is a disgrace. Seriously. This is. You see? This is classes. This is a class where we are taking classes. This is
Nigeria 2022. There's more. There's lots more coming. This is another one. Here's another one for you. Here is another one for you. That's another one for you. This is how they educate your children. You see? What kind of future do they want to produce? Do they want to give to these children? What type of future do you think those children will have? I'm only asking. See, you think you have seen it all. I think I've got University of Nigeria, Nsukka, somewhere here, if I am not mistaken. Okay, seems I did not bring it in here, but let's quickly go into some of the other stuff making rounds. This Aboki, the members of the Nigerian police force ran away completely from Aboki people. Aboki. Watch this.
Nigeria police they had it. Syrian and Nigeria police had it, they run. See Aboki where they pursue them. See Aboki where they pursue them. Sika of Aboki. See Nigeria police they run. See Nigeria police they shoot, they run. Aboki they pursue them. See Nigeria they run. Nigeria police. See that they run, they shoot. See Aboki where they pursue them. See Aboki. See Aboki where they pursue them, they come. See road. Everywhere. See road. See road.
Police force
No road.
running away from Aboki.
Nigeria police they shoot on, they run. See Nigeria police they shoot on, they run. Aboki they pursue them, they come. See where they pursue Nigerian police reach. See Nigerian police, they run. See Aboki, they pursue them, they come. Aboki hold stick, Nigeria hold gun. Nigeria police hold gun. See Aboki. Aboki hold stick, Nigeria police hold gun. Still they run, they run.
Aboki hold stick. Nigeria police hold gun. But Nigeria police they run from Aboki where hold stick. The numbers are too high for from the Aboki side.
See film. See film, watch film, Nigerian film. Nigerian police versus Aboki. Bike people. See where Nigerian police they had it.
Yes, that is the menace they have created, and it is now beginning to germinate. That's the menace. It's not only that. Watch this. I got this earlier today. They said this was a mob driving people from Kubwa Road today in Abuja. I told you people that it's going to get really nasty. Watch this. Nigeria. Look at. See that? Today, I will be lie. You created the mess, and the mess is now coming to consume you. It is really tough. Now, again, today, this one. Again, Abuja. Look at that. This is why Nigerian government, they want to sanction all social media feeds. I was reading that earlier on today. Even on Facebook, they want Facebook to filter everything completely from coming to Nigeria. Yes, we're really getting to that situation whereby anything can happen anywhere, in any part of location 9. Anything can happen and nothing is guaranteed. Now today, this is Alaba Market again. Watch this.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, house. Anybody see from Yanaba, Eba, Yanasach, and Alaba International coming market down to Trade Fair. No movement anywhere. Better you stay and go. My brothers, good morning.
That was today. It's really getting really nasty and very murky. The uncertainty is, it's not a matter of uncertainty. It is Nigeria is dead. This I got again today. Abuja Plankwood Market on fire. Watch this.
They go to plywood, they go to walk to close to 1 billion naira. They go do hundreds of millions somebody na boko. They go do hundreds of millions somebody na boko. Get your money man that was out of that. Get your money man that was out of that because I they go do videos of my people na boko. Jesus Christ. So hi get your money man that because hey your money man that.
But we told them to start moving.
They go to warehouse somebody. They go to plywood, they go to walk to close to 1 billion naira. They go do hundreds of millions. Somebody na boko.
We told them to start moving down southwards since last year, but they never believed us. You see, when the warning came, they should have sold. They should have sold all their stock and never restock again, so that if they get rid of all the stocks that they have, they at least can move out of that place. You see now? You see? And this one, I want you to see the nonsense the newly recruits in the Nigerian army are doing. These are female By the way, I don't know if those female are prostitutes, or I don't know exactly where they come from. I thought they said the military are disciplined people. Watch this.
So what do you advise? Okay, I love that. That's good. I love civilians. They are very useless. I hopeless. Okay. So, Ma, what's your advice?
Those are the newly recruits in your Nigerian army. I thought they said the army are disciplined people. Nigeria is finished. Is what? It's gone. See, it's not just only the Yorubas that are agitating for their own state. Excuse me. It seems likely that that shithole and contraption called Nigeria will be divided up into many fragmented sections. Here, this Niger. Now, I want you people to please focus more on the presentation from the Niger Delta Republic. Look at their national flag. Look at everything. This new group call themselves Niger Delta Republic Agitators. Watch this.
It's when you find out that there is no policy that can favor, there is no law that can favor the minorities in this country. And our brothers from the northern region have boasted about it, convinced that there is nothing the Niger Deltans or any other ethnic nationality could do. But I want to tell Nigeria something. Whether we want to stay in this country or we want to leave, as ethnic nationality, as a region, it is our right to say so. And to make
look at their national flag
within the ambit of international law to ensure that we live. As the day goes by, it is beginning to dawn on us that this whole estate called Nigeria is a charade. Few oligarchies have put this country in their pocket and they're beginning to milk us dry, enslave this country and enslave the people. 1999 Constitution, as far as we're concerned, is a fraud on Nigeria. It is a fraud on our intelligence. That's 1999 Constitution. Coming back, the Electoral Act that was passed into law is also a fraud because it is a makeup of the 1999 Constitution. If the call for agitation of the Niger Delta, self-determination of the Niger Delta is anything to go by, just watch and see. It will be Niger Delta Republic. And it has
Niger Delta Republic.
It has
See,
come
you hear
to
that?
stay.
Did you hear that?
54 years, we have looked at ourselves to find out if Isaac Boro was wrong in his actions. We just come to realize that he wasn't wrong. He saw what people couldn't see. He saw what his contemporaries wouldn't see. That's why at that time, they did not join him in calling for secession or an independence. But now they are doing that. What he saw 4 years ago is what they are saying now. But the environment is right. Not too long ago, we saw what happened in Sokoto. We saw what happened where people will come and under a guise of blasphemy or what, you take the life of your...
Yes, indeed. Niger Delta Republic. They're asking for their own country too. Now, see, I told you there won't be anything called Nigeria because thank God, many of the videos that I've been chunking out has been working wonders. Now, it's not just only Niger Delta. Akwa Ibom agitators too are in the same campaign. Okay? Hear them.
Break it up. Akwa Ibom under political and economic siege by Buhari. Broadcast number 66. Akwa Ibom State and Akwa Ibom people, ladies and gentlemen, as we speak, are under political and economic siege by the Northern Nigeria elite controlled political system and government, headed by the demonstrably ethnocentric Muhammadu Buhari. Number one, Senator Godswill Akpabio, who has been intimidated by Buhari into joining a political party, APC, that looks down on Akwa Ibom leaders, is one example. He has been cowed by threats of EFCC proceeding with dormant charges of public corruption, of stealing Akwa Ibom money against him, and seizure of his hitherto hidden private jet he bought, according to EFCC, with billions of Akwa Ibom derivation money during his 2 terms as governor of Akwa Ibom State. Wow. Number two, Governor Emmanuel, the present sitting governor of Akwa Ibom State, had EFCC, from news reports a few days ago, stop Akwa Ibom federal allocation. Stop Akwa Ibom derivation money. This is from a man who is from Katsina, Buhari. Katsina contributes nothing to Nigeria, not a single penny to the federal purse. But they're seizing Akwa Ibom money. This is galling. This is scandalous. The impudence from this religious and ethnic bigot Muhammadu Buhari. Number three, on Ofiok, the Akwa Ibom House of Assembly Speaker, the President Akwa Ibom House of Assembly Speaker, in a report by the Daily Telegraph, has been widely circulated, it's on Facebook, it's on everywhere, claimed, according to Ofiok, that it was offered 2 billion naira to switch and accept the deputy governor's ticket in 2019 by the same Buhari. He went on to say he would not accept 10 billion naira. This is what Ofiok said. So my question then to the Honorable Speaker is, how about 20 billion? How much are you worth? Would he accept 20 billion naira if he won't accept 10? How about if they use the FCC like they've used against Godswill Akpabio? Will Ofiok accept? I don't believe it. Our leaders are aware that it is Akwa Ibom all money that Buhari is using to play around with them like little children. What is Mr. Luke's point here, saying he would not accept 10 billion? It means he has a price. Is his price higher than his former master, Godswill Akpabio's price? Did you all notice, ladies and gentlemen, that the interest of Akwa Ibom people was never mentioned? There was no talk about unemployment or no talk about anything in all of these recent political deals that our leaders are trying to strike. This is an attempt to cow these weak and pliable and blackmailable Akwa Ibom political leaders in this slave plantation run by Northern elite. Number four, finally, let me highlight the word to the origin of this arrogance about electorally capturing Akwa Ibom State, that no one except Itaina and Don Etiebet cares about. No one cares about the Akwa Ibom hitting President Muhammadu Buhari. The whole plan is, this is what the plan is in that election, to use 3 federal northern control agencies to steal that election. To, as usual, steal the Akwa Ibom 2019 gubernatorial election. Those plans are clear. The world needs to know. They want to use INEC, run by Buhari's kinsman. They want to use the police, run by Buhari's fellow northerner. And they want to use DSS, run by Abba Kyari, with a new acting token chief or director who replaced Buhari's cousin Daura last week after internal family House of Fulani quarrels. QED. Simple. We in the Igbo People Republic Organization will give more details about these plans as they unfold, ladies and gentlemen. We are watching it on a daily basis. At the minimum, the poor and powerless Akwa Ibom people The poor and part of the Akwa now have a loud and strong ally in Igbo People Republic Organization. We are not going to keep quiet. We are ready. We are ready with even more truth telling than ever before. So please, to help us, remember to subscribe to ibomtent.com and this video number 66, which you are now enjoying. Your subscription and support keeps us on air so that we keep speaking the truth. A lot of people reach out and tell us, keep speaking the truth to power. We're going to do that. Enjoy your day, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, indeed. See, Akwa Ibom, Niger Delta Republic, Biafra, Yoruba Nation. What else? Nigeria is kaput. That country is finished. There's nothing called Nigeria. It's just gone. Gone. Completely. And then, don't forget the Fulani agenda. And I want you to please, before we go, watch this. You've never seen this. Yeah. I delved into the archives and I brought this out. Left of the picture was an exclusive interview the late Dim Odumegbo Ojukwu granted a Newswatch that was published 20 March 2000. We're talking about 22 years ago, if you look in front of your screen. And in that exclusive interview, Ojukwu said, if the price of nationhood is regular bloodletting, let us not be a nation. 22 years ago, before he died. Dim Odumegbo Ojukwu said this in an exclusive interview with the Newswatch. If the price of nationhood is regular bloodletting, let us not be a nation. Continue to rest in eternal glory, Dim. Thank you, and thank you, and thank you once again. May your soul continue to rest in peace. To the right, you can see West Africa magazine published. Well, West Africa magazine number 2593, published Saturday, 3 December 1966. 1966. We're talking about 56 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. 56 years ago. And in that magazine that was proscribed, banned in Nigeria by Obasanjo when he became a military junta. Yes, Obasanjo banned West Africa magazine, published here in England by a white guy called Harbour Lane. One of the fastest growing magazine at the time. I know this West Africa very well because Time magazine, Newsweek magazine, and West Africa magazine. I read many of these because I had the opportunity, because my father was a subscriber to many of this magazine and they delivered them straight to his house. 56 years ago, West Africa magazine published Will Nigeria Last? 1966. 56 years ago. And 22 years ago, Dim said, if the price of nationhood is regular bloodletting, let us not be a nation. Why are we one? We don't eat the same food with them in the north. We don't have, our cultural values are not the same. We don't speak the same language. The type of Islam they practice is a murderous Islamic faith that is not a peaceful religion. Whereas Islam, in its real sense, is peaceful. Very, very peaceful. But they twisted it. Obviously because they failed to educate those children, and that's why they're twisting everything. West Africa, 56 years ago. Will Nigeria last? Will Nigeria last? And how come? How come? Muhammadu Buhari in the same 20 March 2000. March 2000. Intel magazine confirmed breakup imminent. Northern leaders threaten Nigeria. Breakup imminent with a question mark. They're ready to go. And as at that time, because they were not the one ruling, Northern leaders threatened Nigeria. And Chief CC Honor said, let's part in peace. So how come Nigeria is now non-negotiable to a fake, dodgy, silicon, latex Muhammadu Buhari in Asorok? That one parodying himself. How come it is so difficult for Nasir El-Rufai and the rest of the cabal to swallow their pride on what they've said to the whole world in March 2000 that breakup of northern Nigeria is imminent? Are they not fools? Of course they are. March 20 March, they made that statement to which they threatened. They threatened us. 20 March. The same 20 March. The same time. The same date. Ojukwu gave his own. Buhari said breakup is imminent. Jim said if the price of nationhood is regular bloodletting, let us not be a nation. The same time. So why won't they let each and every part of the country that wants to go their separate way go? They never saw this. They never saw it. I don't know why I'm the only one seeing this gory images stamped in my head of a fake, dodgy Nigeria that people were just trying to patch up together. A country that can never be patched. A country that's already broken. Why? Why do they want to keep us as one? Why? What have we done? Or what's the point keeping us together? Nigeria is a big time fraud. And I believe it is high time we kill it. And we will surely kill it. No doubt about that. No doubt. Adebo Aledo, Aladesomi, don't you know that Nigeria is cow? Oh, of course, I've dissected. You're just saying that. It is cow. Captain. Yes, indeed. Tell Magazine saw it all before now. I saw it too then. Yeah. If I tell you that the picture of Africa, the picture of Europe over Africa is like hyena, would you believe that? Adebo Aleido Aladesomi, would you believe that? That the picture of Europe over Africa is the picture of a wild hyena eating up the whole of Africa. So you don't know. Let me prove that to you. Because you just started this. I don't know how long you've been my avid viewer, but let me see if I can do this now. Let me do it from here. Let me do it from here. I think I have it here. Let me show you, and I'll show you. You're just joining us, and I'll show you this. PNG files. Okay, I think it should be on the let's see. I'm just looking for it. I want to show you, and I will. No, I don't want to use that one. Let me see. Yes, okay. Let's see. Which one should we use? Let me see. Let me see. I think this one is okay, actually. I think, yeah, let's use this one. Yeah, let's use this one. Okay, the earth. Okay, I know. Let me use this. I'll just do it this way. And I'll then share it. No, this one is not all that. It's not clear the way I would have loved it to be. Let me see this one. Let me see this one. Yeah, this one is better. This one is better. Okay, now I'm going to do this. I'm going to share my screen from here. Yeah, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you this. I hope Adebo Ale Idowu is still there. Adebo Ale Idowu Aladesomi. Yeah, you want me to do this, so you haven't seen this before, but let's see. Yes. Okay. I want you to look at this. You can clearly see the map of the globe. You can clearly see that. And that line you're looking at, that line, this line, that is the illusionary equator that divides the earth into two equal parts, the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Yes, that line, that black thin line is the equator, and you can see the equator runs through Gabon, and then through Uganda and straight, just like we've got the longitude that determines the geographical world zone from Greenwich, because when you look at it, the United Kingdom is right at the center of the world in the northern hemisphere. Now, if I do like this, you can clearly see the map of Africa there. Okay, that is the map of Africa you are looking here. That's Africa. Okay, and you can clearly see the UK somewhere here, and here is the entire Europe, and then that cuts through to Asia and there. Now this is the Middle East. The Middle East is somewhere here, and Egypt is around here. Okay, and Nigeria is around here. The west coast of Africa, East, Central Africa, North, Southern Africa there. Now you can clearly see this shape. Okay, that is it. Now let's blow it out, and you can clearly see, you will see the shape of a wild hyena. You can see eating Africa right up at the top end here in the Mediterranean. Can you see that? And I think somewhere here is Sicily, because this is Spain. And you can see, can this be the reasons why Europe wants to eat up Africa, and why Europe has been eating up Africa for such a long time? You see, this is a wild hyena, wild beast. You know, you can clearly see that. Eating up, you can clearly see the legs here, the front legs. This is the head, this is the neck, and this is the remaining part of the body, and this is the back leg here, the front leg here, and it's stretched along. And at the top here is the United Kingdom, at the top here. See? Hyena. Wild dog. Can this be the reasons why Africa has been so underdeveloped? Picture says it all, guys. Yes, Narada Franklin said the current world map is false. Ancient Yoruba empires and their explorers created it. Okay, let's have the real one then. Bring the real one out, Narada Franklin. Okay, guys, I've been streaming 3 hours, 15 minutes, almost coming to 3 hours and 16 minutes. This special episode of the hashtag, The Bleeding Edge, episode 173. The time in London is 20:56, almost approaching 2100 hours, 9 o'clock London time. It is Thursday, the 19th day of the 5th month of April, or 5th month of May, I beg your pardon. I'm not taking you back. Thursday, the 19th day of the 5th month of May, 2022. The time is 20:56, live in London. Guys, let's bring this special episode of The Bleeding Edge to an end. I want to seize the opportunity to thank all of you for coming in to join me on the stream. It's been a wonderful time. We're going to do it again next time. It's been a very, very interesting one, interesting journey. Share it. And I'm pretty sure some people somewhere are dying to have this information. Now, in the next episode, we will be treating 174 of The Bleeding Edge. Thank you for watching the stream. We're going to do it again next time. If you haven't pressed the like from wherever of the pages you're watching the stream, either from my personal page or from New Media TV or HALLO Magazine or New Media on YouTube. Please give us a thumb up on YouTube and then subscribe and click the bell icon so that each and every time I come live, you will be notified. And on Facebook, like and then follow the page. Until next time, take good care of yourselves, and I shall see you that moment when it is great again. Enjoy the rest of your night. God bless you. Good night.
Thank you.